So I want to walk you through OurPact as a parental control management solution for your devices in your home. Specifically, OurPact works with any kind of Apple device, so iPad, iPhone specifically, and then anything that's running the Android operating system. So Samsung, HTC, Google, Pixel, whatever Android OS they're using, OurPact can monitor and manage that device. So there's a lot of great features within OurPact that you can see. You have capabilities like view, scheduling, app blocker, app rules, time allowance, family location, web filtering, text blocking, and internet blocking. And we'll jump into all that more here in just a second. Here's what the management console looks like. This is from a browser. They have an app as well. I'll show you here as well. But you can go in here and you can set schedule. So what times of day you want to allow devices, what times of the day you don't want to allow devices to be have app access, if you will. Specifically, you can go in and say, I don't want these apps to ever be available, or I want these apps to always be available, or I want them to be limited or scheduled when they're available. So that way, as an example here with our kids, with this device, we set a school block on it. So from 7:30 to 2:30, they can't do anything on the phone unless it's always granted. So that's what happens here. You also get time allowances, so you can schedule how much time a day you want your kid to have. So what times of the day you want them to be able to have the device. So example, summer, you know what, they can have the device all summer long, but I only want them on the device 2, 3, 4 hours a day. You can set time limits for the day for your children. As far as other restrictions that you get with OurPact, I think this is where it's really great. Obviously, you have web filtering so you can block adult content, sites to always block. I think this is important to note. Even if your child you don't allow them to have Facebook, social media, Pinterest, those types of things. If they have the browser on their device, they can still go to facebook.com. They can go to YouTube, youtube.com, the mobile version of YouTube, to bypass that block. So that's why we have those in there. For iPhone specifically, they've got some other capabilities too. So you can disable your child from deleting any installed apps in general, disable in-app purchases. You can limit ad tracking, which I think is very important. Disabling Siri, so preventing your child from using voice commands, obviously. Disable Siri profanity. You can disable AirDrop. I think that's an important one. There's a lot there I'll cover in separate videos about how people sometimes in public areas will AirDrop everybody's phones in the area with illicit pictures if they want to. You can disable screenshots. Password required for purchases. I think that's important sometimes, just in case somebody gets a hold of the phone, they're trying to mess with your kid, install stuff. You can prevent that, so they have to always put their password in. I think it's very important to disable passcode changes. As my kids have devices, I want to be able to access them and do phone checks still physically. I think that's important. And lastly, factory reset. We want to disable that because if they factory reset their device, OurPact gets wiped off the device as well. Another feature within OurPact that I really like is its location tracking. So I can go in and check on where my child's device is at any time and see what paths it's taken throughout the day. It goes back, it has a historical timeline, I think of about 2 weeks. So if there's earlier times in the week I need to check something, I can. I can also plug in specific addresses. So example, when my kids go to school, I get alerted when they arrive at school. When they leave school, I get an alert if they leave school in case they cut out early or something. When they go to a friend's house, if they're at work, something like that. It's just a peace of mind knowing my child is where they are supposed to be. And if they're leaving and they haven't told me, I can reach out and be like, hey, why are you leaving there? So we have that conversation with our kids. But again, we try to teach our kids communication is the most important component of this when it comes to trust. So if you're going to be leaving, just tell us beforehand. Don't let me find out through the app or some other way or through a friend that you were somewhere when you told me you were going to be somewhere else. I think it's important to again, have conversations with your kids when you're doing any type of parental control monitoring on the device and having conversations. What we typically do with the app rules is we go through the apps with our kids and just have some honest discussions. Do you need to be able to always have access to these games or these capabilities or communication apps, or no? And why? And let's talk through that and set those standards for that. And maybe you don't want that. I do want to point out something that's interesting with iPhone specifically. FaceTime and the camera app are combined. So if you block texting at night, your child can still FaceTime if you have FaceTime always enabled, like it is right here. So you can go in and have it blocked by schedule. That's an important call out. Contacts, whatever the app might be that they've got, you can go in and manage that access for them. And maybe they download an app and you weren't aware of it and you're not okay with them having access to it, and we want to disable that. So all that capability is right there at your fingertips within it. The only thing that OurPact does not do that you may want is actual monitoring on the device at a more granular level. So what you can do, if you're interested in that, is they have automated screenshots that you can get on the device. The only problem with this is if you have an iPhone, I want to turn it on as a parent. My child has to go in and allow me to have it. So that's the only challenge there with that. Which, you again are having conversations, but if I'm worried if my kid's doing something, I go ask them about it. I'm not going to be able to document that and have a discussion with them about it. So Android, it can automatically do that. With iPhone, your child has to give you permission to do the screenshotting. But it still is a great feature set. So if there is concerns that you have with your kid, you can do those types of things. So that's their way of doing actual monitoring and alerts for you on those types of things. But if your kid is on social media, or if they're getting text messages sent to them with illicit content or cyberbullying, OurPact does not actually alert you to that at that level. It is more of just application and time management, screen time management, and scheduling of availability and access of the device to be online and what apps and stuff they can interact with. So that is OurPact's capability.